Okay, guys. Hey, how are y'all? Good. Good. Okay, so today in our social studies lesson, we are going to be learning about causes and effects of the Revolutionary War. Okay? Can you raise your hand and tell me what the Revolutionary War is? Does anyone know what that is? Noah.
Where the British and the American, they got in a big war.
Right, great. Does anybody else have anything to add to that? Maddox.
It was in 1980.
It was in 1980? I don't know. We'll see. We're going to learn a little bit more about it, okay? So today we're going to understand how various people and events have shaped America. We're going to understand how freedom, equality, and democracy contribute to the government of America. Does anybody know what democracy is?
No.
Or like a democratic society? Tell me a country that you think is a democratic society, Maddox.
America.
America is a democratic society.
The English.
Well, they have like a monarchy, which they have like a king and a queen, but you know, for the most part, they're all a democratic society. Daphne.
Is America like when they're talking Spanish or English?
So, we're a free country, which means anybody from anywhere can come and live in America. We are a free country. Okay? Home of the free. That's what you see. You hear a bunch of songs and our Pledge of Allegiance. We're considered one nation that is free under a democratic society, okay? So today we're also going to talk about the Boston Tea Party and more, okay?
I have a question.
Yes.
Can the British come here now, or?
Can they come here now?
Yeah.
Well, the British is one of our greatest allies, so I'm not going to foresee that they're going to come here, but, you know, it's always a possibility. But we did gain our independence from Great Britain, okay? So I want everybody to look at this picture on the board. Yes, sir. What Miss Paris's video was, if you want. Does anybody know what this picture is of on the board? Can somebody just look at it and tell me what this is? Stella.
Are they coming from a different island?
Okay, that's a possibility. What else? Victoria. Christopher, turn around. What's happening in the picture, Victoria?
What's happening in the picture?
Yeah, tell me what's happening in the picture. What do you see?
There's people on a sea.
There's people on what?
A ship.
On a boat? On a ship? Okay, what else? Evangeline.
People throwing windows.
People throwing things. Where are they throwing them? Great job, Evangeline. Where are they throwing them, Stella?
In the ocean.
In the ocean or in the water. What else, Noah? Let me hear something.
I think they're like coming from a different state to the Boston Tea Party.
To the Boston Tea Party? Okay. So where do you think this might be happening? If Noah just said they're throwing something, what city? What'd you just say?
Boston Tea Party?
So is a tea party a city?
No.
What is a city?
America.
Boston.
Boston, right. So this is a historical event that happened during we're trying to gain independence from Great Britain. Okay? This is called the Boston Tea Party, which these are people on boats throwing tea into the Boston Harbor. A harbor is basically like a big body of water that feeds into the ocean. Okay? All right? So we're going to talk a little bit about cause and effect. Okay? I want you to raise your hand and tell me what cause and effect are.
When you're fighting, when someone, when you start something, they finish, they come back to do the same thing.
Okay, that's one idea. Does anybody else have a different idea about what maybe cause and effect is? so let me explain a little bit about it. Okay, so first off, cause. Cause is the reason for an action or condition, the reason something happens that brings about an effect. So if something is done, there's always an effect behind it, okay?
Was I almost close?
You were on track. I'm proud of you. You're turning your wheels. You're really thinking. So this is the reason for something, and usually it's followed by the effect. And then the effect is that something that inevitably follows, inevitably means it's going to happen, follows an incident, such as a cause or an agent. It is a result. So there is a cause and there is effect. So let's let Ms. Paris think. Let's show an explanation.
Okay.
Okay. Miss Paris has a pen, okay, or an expo marker. Miss Paris is playing when she should not be playing, okay? And somebody accidentally bumps into me. Somebody accidentally bumps into me. Well, if somebody bumps into me, I drop it, right? What's on the floor?
Your cap.
What's on the floor?
Mark.
Say it.
Mark.
A mark. A mark is on the floor now. So the cause was that Miss Paris was playing when she shouldn't have been, right? And because I was doing that, I've dropped my marker, and the effect is now I have drawn on the floor by accident. No, Miss Paris can get it. I can just get some water later. So it is the reason for an action, okay? So let's do another example. If you are at home and you are yelling at your brother or your sister or whoever.
I do that all the time.
Oh, well, okay. And if you're yelling, that is the cause. You're yelling at your brother. The effects might be that your mom puts you in timeout, or you don't get to go play outside. There is always a cause and effect. The reason for something happening, or maybe the action that is happening, and then the effect that follows after it, okay? So today, we are going to learn a little bit more about the Boston Tea Party, and I want you to remember these, okay? So these are your sticky notes should be on your desk. Okay, so you have 2 for cause and 2 for effect. The cause of what happened at the Boston Tea Party and the effect of what happened, okay? So a little bit of backstory. So the American Revolutionary War is also called the U.S. War of Independence. Who are we trying to gain independence from, Noah? Who were we doing? We were trying to gain independence from where? What country?
Tea Party. Where the Tea Party was.
So, where did I say the Queen was from?
British?
The Great Britain. Great Britain. We were trying to gain our independence from Great Britain, the King, okay? King George. So this war was fought between 1775 through 1783, okay? Through which of 13 of Great Britain's North American colonies threw off British rule to establish the sovereign United States of America. So we gained our independence from Great Britain to form the United States of America. This founded with the Declaration of Independence. We have already talked about this a little bit too. In 1776. Okay? What? Yeah. Alright, so guys, just a little bit about the Boston Tea Party, and then we're going to watch a video. Okay? The American Revolution. Has anybody heard that? What's the tea? What's that mean?
Oh, like what?
What's the tea? Tell me the tea.
What's the clues?
What are you talking about? Tell me some more information. That's what the tea is. Tell me the gossip. So we're going to learn the gossip, or we're going to learn the facts about the American Revolution related to the Boston Tea Party, okay? So the Boston Tea Party occurred on December 16th, 1773, okay? It was one of the key events that led up to the American Revolution. So, guys, let me ask you, do you think that the Boston Tea Party was a big fun party with tea?
No, it was like a party of war.
It could have started one, right? I need eyes and ears on me. Turn around, please. So it wasn't a fun little tea party where we drink and eat kind of fancy cakes. Do you think that's what it was? No. So not really. There was tea involved,
Okay.
but nobody was drinking any tea. The Boston Tea Party was a protest, okay? What's a protest? Can somebody tell me what a protest is? What, Maddox? Okay.
Oh, I
A
think that's
protest. If I'm protesting, what is it, Noah?
like you try to like trust it. Like you try to like trust like if they put poison in it, you shouldn't have drank it.
Okay, not really, but we're turning our wheels. So a protest is when someone is standing up for what they believe in. Okay? There's many protests that happen all over the world, not just in America, all over the world. But it was a protest by the American colonists. Are we Americans?
Yes.
So it would have been done by probably us, right?
Yeah, but
Against the British government. They staged a protest by 43.
yes.
Three, how many? I need eyes and ears on me. 3 ships in the Boston Harbor and throwing the tea off the ship into the Boston Harbor. The Boston Harbor is a what, Stella? What's the Boston Harbor? Does anybody remember?
I think I remember. But where the Boston Tea Party was taking place?
It did take place in the Boston Harbor. Well, what is the Boston Harbor? They threw it into the Boston Harbor, so it's a body of water. It's a body of water. Great job, Brent. And threw the ships and the ship's cargo of tea overboard. Okay. They threw 342. So you need to be listening for cause and effect. 342 chests of tea into the water. Some of the colonists were disguised as Mohawk Indians. But the costumes didn't fool anyone. The British knew who had destroyed the tea. Okay? Alright, so do y'all want to know more? Yeah, okay, so we're going to watch this video. And while we're watching this video, I want you to separate your sticky notes, okay? You need to have 2 for cause and 2 for effect. Okay?
You take your own pencils and write
You write your cause on 2 sticky notes, and you write your effects on 2 sticky notes.
How do you write columns?
What?
How do you write columns? I don't know how to write that.
Just do your best. Why something happened, okay?
Really don't matter.
I need to. There's 2 columns.
It does not take a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority, keen on setting
Put
bushfires
your eyes on the board.
minds of
Be
men
writing down your causes and effects.
arms. By 1773, tensions were high between Great Britain and the American colonists. A slew of taxes and new acts in previous years had strained the relationship. Colonists were fed up with the new measures meant to control their actions and force them to pay taxes to reduce debt in Great Britain, all while they were denied representation in British Parliament. The Tea Act sought to save the British East India Company from financial ruin. While the act actually lowered the tax on tea, it hurt other tea suppliers and added more fuel to the fire as colonists grew increasingly angry. They continued the practice of buying smuggled goods, to deny the British company sales of the popular drink.
So they were smuggling tea.
Even when the price of smuggled tea cost more than buying it from the British East India Company, they persisted. Their message was loud and clear. Meanwhile, a group of patriot revolutionaries led the charge against Great Britain and plotted ways to protest and sabotage British efforts. They called themselves the Sons of Liberty. On December 16, 1773, 3 British ships loaded with tea sat in Griffin's Wharf in Boston, Massachusetts. On land, American colonists protested the British tax and voted to refuse the tea to be unloaded into the port. After nightfall, members of the Sons of Liberty dressed up as American Indians and boarded the ships. Hours later, 342 barrels of tea were dumped overboard into the harbor. The damage was worth nearly $1 million
That might be
in
an
today's
effect.
currency.
There was damage of $1 million.
The actions of the American colonies were mixed. Some prominent patriots applauded their efforts. Others saw the destruction of property as wrongful. The British government's reaction was clear and swift. The British Parliament and King George III were incensed. In 1774, they imposed the Coercive Acts. Often called the Intolerable Acts, these acts closed the port of Boston to all trade and supplies until colonists paid for the damaged tea, restricted town meetings in Massachusetts, protected British officials from going to trial in Massachusetts courts, and required colonists to house British troops. Other colonists became inspired by the acts of the Sons of Liberty and dumped tea into harbors across the colonies. Great Britain and the American colonies found themselves in increasingly hot water. Just a few short years later, trouble would brew into an outright war, and the penalty would be severe. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe.
What? Okay, hold on. So the Boston Tea Party contributed to the start of the American Revolutionary War. So let's think about this.
Do we have to?
Miss Green was saying Miss Friday needs me to come to the office. I will.
I'm in the middle of the lesson. Okay, guys. So, why did they do it? At first, throwing tea into the ocean, dressed as Mohawks, might have seemed a little silly, okay? But the colonists had their reasons. Who were the colonists? Were the colonists the British or were they the American? They were Americans. They were from the original 13 colonies. Tea was their favorite drink among the British and the colonies. It was also a major source of income, okay? And that came to the East India Trading Company. This was a British company, and the colonies were told they could only buy tea from this one company. They were also told that they had to pay high taxes on tea. This tax was called the Tea Act. Okay? So you're hearing a lot of ways of that things can be causes and effects. The Boston Tea Party, is that a cause or an effect? Is it?
A cause.
Okay? It can be a cause. So the cause of the Boston Tea Party, what is the effect, Noah?
That they might have had a war.
They might have had a war, guys. It said that the Boston Tea Party was a monumental effect or an event that started the American Revolutionary War.
You know what?
So, patriots met at the Old South Meeting House to discuss taxation prior to the Boston Tea Party. Who's ever heard no taxation without representation? Have y'all heard Miss Paris say that before? They weren't getting represented, so they were not happy about their taxes going up and up and up. There was no representation. This didn't seem fair to the colonies as they were not represented by British Parliament, and didn't have a say on how taxes should be done. They were getting taxed and they had no say or no way to talk to the king about what they thought was fair to them. They refused to pay the taxes on the tea and asked that the tea be returned to Great Britain. Okay? When it wasn't, they decided to protest Britain's unfair taxes by throwing tea into the ocean. So because, what could be the cause? What could be a cause here, guys?
The Boston Tea Party.
What about this, Noah? Taxes. What's the effect of taxes? High taxes. What would be the effect, Noah? What would be the effect, Victoria? If there was high taxes, what did they do to
Oh, I got it.
somebody else tell me, if there was high taxes that they didn't think were fair, they were protesting, what did they do? Hunter, do you know? If there was high taxes, what did they do? What did they do? What have we been talking about? The what?
Boston Tea Party.
Okay, so there was high taxes and they were protesting. So what was the protest? What's the protest called? What have we been talking about? Yeah. So high taxes was the cause and the effect was the Boston Tea Party, guys. Alright, so fun facts about the Boston Tea Party. 3 ships were boarded and had their tea dumped into the harbor. The ships were the Dartmouth, the Eleanor, and the Beaver. The Beaver had been quarantined in the outer harbor for 2 weeks due to a case of smallpox. So this ship actually had been in their area for about 2 weeks, but they couldn't come to land because of a smallpox case. Smallpox is when it can get you really sick. Paul Revere was one of 116 people who participated in the Boston Tea Party. Okay? There's a lot of information. We're going to learn about it tomorrow on Paul Revere as well. But Paul Revere, remember that name, Paul Revere. Party on Paul is what they called it. The actual location of the Boston Tea Party is thought to be at the intersection of Congress and Purchase Streets in Boston. This area was once underwater, but today is a corner of a busy street. The tea that was destroyed in the Boston Tea Party was from China. Yes, sir.
Wait, so did they put like the boats under like the
It was a long time ago, so the boats were gone, and then they built over the water. All right, so we are done. But now I'm going to pass out you a paper that looks like mine on the board.
Miss Person now?
I want you to put your name on the board. Yes, sir. It's from me drawing.
Miss Paris.
I want you to write your name up top.
I need to
Why does it take a
It's because I had to mark something out.
I need you.
So it doesn't feel that good.
Miss Paris had to mark something out.
And I mark it.
No.
No, Maddox.
Only been on.
Oh, because that's your private privacy.
Only been on. And it says, I can read it from that.
You and you do it.
Miss Paris.
All right, guys, so I want you to start writing. Hold on 1 second. You're going to have to start writing down your cause and effects that related to the Boston Tea Party. We've already talked about a couple. I know. We've already talked about a couple. We've talked about high taxes. We've talked about the Revolutionary War. Stop messing with that.
I know what he said.
So I want you to think about a couple of the causes. So in the middle of your paper, you need to write Boston
I can't see.
Tea party. This is where your causes will go. And this is where your effects will go. This is a concept map, friends. We're going to fill this in together.
Good.
Okay, so I'm going to give you about 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes to work in table groups while Miss Paris comes around. I'll keep working. You can talk amongst your peers, okay? And you're going to think about your causes and effects, all right? All right. Go ahead and start, guys. Okay. So, taxes. What was the, okay, so this would be a what? A cause, okay. And then what would be the effect?
Like, the effect would be that they caused they fight.
Okay, they did fight, but what was that fight called?
The Revolutionary War.
So taxes, Boston Tea Party, what was it called? If there was high taxes, they did a what? What was that called? Protest, Boston. Okay, keep working. Genesis, you work with him. Y'all work together.
Here, you want to finish that while I write code?
Yes. Here, all right, separate your, what? Okay. So you said a Boston Tea Party? What can I just put all this in? What is this? Effects? Oh, okay. I got it called. So what would be called? Where? Yes, ma'am. Effects. What would be the cause and effect, guys? Think about it. What do you think about Vanessa? Tell me something we learned. Let's talk about something we learned and figure out. You're gonna have to work with Genesis. What did we learn? Tell me some information, guys.
What's that? Oh, right here.
Let's talk about it.
There you go.
Okay. What about? Here we come up with taxes. Causes and effects of the Boston Tea Party, guys. So the protest, okay. So why? What was the effect? Lord, yes. Maybe the effect. Okay, so look, this will be here. Zero the effects, right? Taxes, Boston Tea Party, and then what started because of the Boston Tea Party?
Legendary war.
Revolutionary. All right, good job, guys. Keep working. Yes, ma'am. Huh? Who? Alright guys, I'm going to start collecting your sheets and then we're going to go over this together, okay? W-A-R. We're going to go over this together, friends. I'm proud of you for working hard. Alright guys. Put your sticky notes on here. Go here. Yeah, I know. That's what you're supposed to do. Put your sticky notes on there. Right? Okay, my parents will go over these, but let's go over these together right quick. Alright, so in the middle we wrote Boston Tea Party. Okay? So what could be a cause? What could be a cause, an action? What could the action be? Yes, Noah?
The war?
Is that the action?
No.
Is that the cause?
Yes. Cars.
It's the cause? What else? Somebody give me a cause right here. Yeah, say it louder, Vanessa. Great. Taxes. The cause. Taxes. Taxes. Okay. So taxes was a cause, and then there's a Boston Tea Party. So what could be the effect? What's the effect of the Boston Tea Party?
That they threw the tea into the ocean and it was $1 million.
Yes, there was a loss of $1 million.
And the brothers, what are the brothers' names? What are they? The brother,
There was a loss of $1 million. Yes. What else?
Miss Harris, I forgot the name.
Paul Revere?
No, the two guys that were on the boat and threw the tea.
Mohawk Indians?
Yeah.
Those aren't people. Those are Mohawk. Those are Indians. Yes. Okay. Boston Tea Party. Okay. What could so an effect of the Boston Tea Party could be the Revolutionary War.
I was trying to say that, but I'm like, I said that. No, I had it. How do you still have your paper?
Oh, I thought I took it.
What about Brent?
Okay. And so what could be the cause? We have the Boston Tea Party, Revolutionary War.
The Revolutionary War should be.
What is the cause? What's the cause right here? What did I say? No taxation without representation.
Representation.
So a cause could be no representation. Could be a stepping stone of why one of the reasons the Boston Tea Party happened, and the effect of that Boston Tea Party was the Revolutionary War. All right, guys, I want you to all give yourselves some snaps. I'm glad, and we will do the next lesson tomorrow.